One woman at McLennan Community College has been dressing up every single day as a different notable black woman. July 4th is days away and millions across the country plan to celebrate with fireworks, but observing comes with some safety risks. This is a brick from this brick wall right behind me that was tossed over, and this is a shingle from the roof that the owner says was just ripped off after at one moment it was sunny outside and then the weather turned extremely violent. As you can see behind me, there is just nothing left, and what we do know about this fire is that it started in the South Tower sometime between 7 and 8 this morning. Even though the church has made a lot of progress, there's still places like this nursery that need a lot of work, and toys like this are completely ruined. And now those one-year-olds are thriving, and today we even got to find out what they named that fourth baby. Louisiana braced for high winds and heavy rain as Barry strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane earlier today. Police say that the woman fell off the bridge somehow on the other side of the river, and that's where the tour guides dove in to save her. They managed to drag her over to this side, and that's where first responders were waiting. And if you are worried about leaving your child by accident, some parents have decided to leave important things like their phone or the shoe that they're wearing in the back seat so they'll be positive they don't forget them. Right now, a family grieves over the loss of their son, husband, and brother, the soldier from Fort Hood who was killed in Afghanistan. And as you can see behind me, these barriers have been moved back to Robinson Cemetery. They were farther down the street, and the FBI tells me that they expect to be here for 2 days, just going through all of the evidence they have. Frederick Marks appeared in court clean-shaven and calm. The mother and relatives of Michael Swearingen watched his accused killer enter the room. Well, Waco ISD today participated in the active shooter drill along with Waco PD, the SWAT team, and the Navy and Marine Corps reserves. City officials told me that this break was probably caused by aging infrastructure since this pipe is in an older part of town, and you can see behind me they're still working really hard to get this repaired. Welcome back. More than 100 New York City students have beaten the odds and are now college bound. The park rangers say that really right now it is a waiting game, and you can see right behind me this park is closed right now because there's water that's about to cover the road. To show you the level of flooding that it's at out here right now, I'm standing under a pavilion, but if I just take a few steps back, I'm right at the water's edge. Federal prosecutors charged him last month with trafficking girls as young as 14 years old. This is where the officer responded to that call at about 9:05 this morning of the robbery. The area right behind me is where there was the most damage today, and there are several houses that are destroyed. The TEA officially says that they are aware of the situation, but they cannot comment on the specifics of any case involving an educator. You can hear that concert going on right behind me. We've got a great crowd out here. I think the rain has picked up really when I got here, and the Silos actually had to cancel a book signing with Hoda Copy because the weather was delaying some airplanes. There's only a couple clouds out here, but tomorrow's forecast has the directors of this Band of America marching competition worried that they might have to cancel.
9 people now face prostitution charges after an undercover sting operation from the Bell County Sheriff's Department. One other person was arrested for a parole violation. Fox 44's Anna Thrash went behind the scenes of that operation and can now show us what she experienced. Hey, Anna.
Hey, Adam. Well, being behind the scenes of the prostitution sting was an eye-opening experience. After spending some time with the officers involved, I learned that for them, this is personal because they don't want these crimes happening where they live. They say they'll keep doing undercover operations until prostitution and human trafficking stops in their area. 10 people found themselves behind bars after being caught in a prostitution sting in Bell County last Thursday and Friday.
It was a really good operation. I think it worked out well for us, and hopefully we made a little bit of an impact.
Sheriff's deputies, Temple police officers, and multiple nonprofit anti-human trafficking organizations came together for the operation. Sheriff Eddie Lang says he's happy to get these people off the streets, but disappointed that stings like this are necessary.
Success in this business would mean if we did this operation and we arrested no one. That's what we certainly would hope happens someday if we continue to do this, that this problem would no longer exist in our community. But unfortunately, that's not reality.
The sting took place at a secret location in Temple over 2 days. Deputies put out ads online for prostitution and also answered others. They then took down anyone who messaged them and showed up at their location.
You don't necessarily have to engage in sexual act. It's you agree And that's where we're getting these individuals, the Johns, the traffickers that we're arresting.
Of those arrested, 2 men are soldiers stationed at Fort Hood. Another man, Jose Lopez Medina, was a business counselor at the Killeen Chamber of Commerce. 6 women were also taken in when they responded to an officer on their ad, but deputies don't want to arrest them.
Our goal with the young ladies that were involved in this, as far as the human trafficking goes, if we can save one of those individuals, it's a great success.
We understand that it may not be the first time that we talk to someone that they accept assistance, and that we just need to let them know that we're going to be there. And if we see them 1 time, or if we see them 8 times, we're going to be there to make sure that they get the assistance that they need.
Ultimately, the sheriff wants the results of this sting to serve as a warning to potential criminals.
And just remember, everyone, you never know what's on the other end of that computer.
The Killeen Chamber of Commerce says Lopez Medina has been terminated from his job there. And as Adam mentioned earlier, I was there as these men and women were arrested, and I'll have more on what goes on behind the scenes of the operation tonight at 9. Live in the studio, Anna Thrash, Fox 44 News. The deputies, along with Temple Police, put out ads for prostitution online and wait for a response. They also respond to ads offering sexual services for money. What you'll hear coming up in my story is clips of audio from the sting. For legal reasons, we weren't allowed to film anyone's face or any of the suspects' voices, but what you'll hear will give you a sense of how our local law enforcement takes down suspects in prostitution.
So he said he's here?
Okay. I just gave him the room numbers.
Hey, Sarge, that car right there to the left, it whipped in here, turned around, and now it's just sitting there. He's still in the parking lot. Just pulled off to the other side.
He's coming up the stairs now. So you got a room number?
Yeah, he's got a room number.
And turning towards you now, checking his watch. 2 doors away.
Fixing past us. Problem.
10 foot?
10 foot from the door.
Please.
Your hand.
Hey.
Relax.
Police department, calm down. You hear me?
One in custody.
So you know you're going to be arrested today for prostitution. Did they tell you that already? It's okay, just relax. And I know it's hard to do that right now, but just breathe quiet, slowly. You know that you're under arrest for prostitution. So it's a Class B misdemeanor. You'll be going to the jail, county jail today, and you'll probably be released sometime after midnight or in the morning. Okay. Your car will be impounded. You will know where your car is once you get to the jail. Do you have any warrants out? Do you know?
Police from Arlington, Texas also participated in the sting for 1 day because they wanted to learn from the way that Bell County operates and these undercover operations. Live in the studio, Anna Thrash, Fox 44 News.
Fox 44's Anna Thrash live tonight with how staff is using some special headphones to change these veterans' lives.
Robert and Leslie, this story is truly heartwarming, and those headphones that the veterans use come from a program called the Alive Inside Coalition, and practically when those veterans are using them, they can listen to their favorite music from anywhere and any time that they want to.
Oh yeah, I love to listen to good music.
Jake Hutto is a World War II veteran who was stationed in Germany, and he loves listening to gospel music.
It's good for the soul.
David Arnold would agree. He served in the Air Force during the Korean War. They're both listening to music through their personalized headphones.
Sing forevermore.
It's a joy to see all of them just enjoying life and becoming so alive.
Sharon Smith is the activities director at William R. Courtney Texas State Veterans Home in Temple. She brought the idea of using the headphones to the home and says that they have made a huge impact on the veterans' lives.
And the families will come to me and say, thank you so much for this. He didn't want to come out of his room and do anything, and now he's trying to find you to get music on his headphones.
Smith downloads different music to each set of headphones based on the veteran's preference.
I love the fact that they have thought about these veterans that actually were around music and love music, and that they are able to enjoy that again.
Many of these veterans battle dementia, Alzheimer's, and PTSD. Smith says one Vietnam veteran explained that music gives him peace.
He would listen to this music back in that time, and it would calm him whenever there was just chaos all around him. And that's how he feels, is chaos inside. But when he listens to the music, it soothes him.
Right now, all residents in the home's memory support unit have their own headphones. Smith says the music takes these veterans back to a time they remember.
Oh, I love you. I always have.
Currently, 36 veterans, mostly those who are in their memory support unit, have the headphones, but Smith says she hopes to get them to everyone in the home by the end of this year. Live in the control room, Anna Thrash, Fox 44 News. Faculty at Lomita are already able to carry guns on campus if they have the proper training. The sign posted out front clearly states that they're ready to use whatever force necessary to protect their school's 290 students. Avoid, deny, defend. That's what staff at Lomita schools learned today during an active shooter training.
You got to make it at least that 12 minutes or so before police get there. You've got to survive.
They learned how to identify unusual behavior in situations and not to treat them lightly. But if an active shooter situation does happen, they should use everything they can to stop them from getting into their classroom.
This is our first day with the staff, but we wanted to set the tone that this is important to us and that they've got to think about what will they do if.
Lomita Schools also participates in the Guardian program, where trained staff are allowed to have guns on campus.
It's so much more than just the Guardian program. Our whole staff needs to know what to do if a situation arises, and that's what this training is for.
I think there's a message being sent to potential predators that would come onto campus that we're not going to tolerate it. We're going to do our best to defend our children.
Teachers got the chance to simulate a shooter situation in their own classrooms and practice how to prepare their students and keep them calm.
I hope we never have to use it, hope it never becomes an issue or a problem, but we have the training so that if it does, that they'll be ready for it.
Johnny Price, the teacher of the program, says that if teachers only learn one thing today, it should be to pay attention.
Awareness is really what this whole program is about, is paying attention to everything going on around in your immediate world. Outside the door, outside the classroom, also in the classroom.
Price is traveling around to several different area schools at the beginning of this school year, as he has in the past. Next, he will be doing the same training in Jewett. In the studio, Anna Thrash, Fox 44 News.
Bunch of emotions all in one. I mean, definitely panic, and just felt like I was basically living my worst nightmare every single day.
Andrea Murray, the daughter of Brian Nesbitt, describes when she found out her father was missing. Nesbitt disappeared from his home outside of Gatesville on September 7th, 2018.
He was very afraid that day. Seemed like he was afraid that somebody was after him.
Several different agencies helped Coryell County deputies search for Nesbitt, but they found nothing for months.
We always utilize every source that is at our disposal, and we get a lot of them statewide.
But Nesbitt's mother, Joanne Dean, says police did not do enough.
They didn't search. They didn't want to be bothered. And we're the ones that did the searching. We were the ones that wanted to look because we knew nobody else was going to.
Dean says her family hired a helicopter and a private investigator to find Brian. On November 22nd, Coryell County deputies found Nesbitt's truck abandoned on County Road 342. 5 days later, they located his remains about 200 yards from his truck. Dean says a Texas Ranger called her and told her Nesbitt committed suicide.
That was the last thing he'd do. He thought that was murder, that was a sin. It was against the commandments, thou shalt not kill. He would never have done that.
The official cause of death is undetermined, and authorities also can't say when Nesbitt died. The family says they are struggling with the amount of unknown information.
I go to the funeral home, and there's no body. You can't say goodbye to anybody. I'm angry about how all of it was handled. Very angry.
Coryell County Chief Deputy Mark Wilcox says he expects the official report to be released sometime this month.
At this point, unless we get any kind of new leads that come in, the case is, for the most part, closed.
Dean and Murray say they don't know how their family is supposed to find closure.
I don't really feel like we're dealing with this well at all, due to a lot of unanswered questions, like what happened to him.
Our whole family is devastated. We don't know how to go forward because we have no answers. We'll never have any answers, probably.
But they will always have their memories of Brian. Anna Thrash, Fox 44 News.